Hey everybody. Chi, who was waiting with us at the airport, especially excited because today his little doggy duo would be complete. Together they would be Chi and Wawa. We adopted our Chi first because if he had been the other way around, they would have had to have been called Hua Hua Chi, and that just doesn't work. Ciao. Chi, who was waiting with us, was especially excited because today his little duo would be complete. Together they would be Chi and Wawa. We adopted Chi first because if it had been the other way around, they would have had to be called Wawa Chi, and that just doesn't work. Dogs, despite their alleged popularity, are treated as second-class citizens by airline companies. Dogs have to fly as freight. Personally, I believe some humans should fly as freight instead of dogs. Take this with a grain of salt. I am a little misanthropic, I guess. I prefer the company of dogs to that of people under almost all circumstances. My only complaint about dogs is that they don't live long enough. Dogs are saints. They would never lower themselves to the level of a human being. No dog would ever treat another dog the way humans treat each other. Have to wait for his baggage at the conveyor roundabout. He was the baggage. We promptly signed the appropriate papers and hustled him out to the Freightliner to begin his acquaintance to his new home and to his new partner in the duo. Chi and Wa got along famously from the start. Lonnie and I have always believed if you're going to invite a dog into your home, you owe it to the dog to invite a friend for him. The reasoning is simple, like we are. How would you feel if you were the only human in a pack of dogs? Everybody needs someone of their own kind to relate to. There was another more practical reason. It was good to have two dogs. They would not feel undue anxiety when they had to stay alone in hotels for long periods of time. That Chi and that Wa would catch up on Caesar Milan when they stayed in the hotel rooms. The owner of the trucking company apparently hated pets of any kind because the company rules forbade any of the drivers from having pets. What did they expect drivers to do? Leave their pets locked up at home to starve to death? I mean, there you'd be driving across the nation's highway, putting your life at risk, and everyone else's, I might add, by staying awake for days at a time to make sure toilet paper got delivered to Walmart on time. And you weren't even allowed to have your best friend there to help you keep you awake. But don't let me get started on the indentured servitude of the trucking business. This is about the Wa. The Wa was never a big eater. In fact, one of Chi's primary missions was to lean ominously over the Wa and eye his food while displaying his most ravenous facial expressions. He is the dominant dog. It was during his dedication to performing this that Chi learned how to make his stomach growl louder than the roar of the Freightliner's Detroit diesel. Lonnie and I both fervently believed that the Wa would surely have starved if Chi had not consistently been at his post. Another thing the Wa was not particularly fond of was physical exercise. We were at the Salt River Canyon in either New Mexico or Arizona, not sure which. We decided to stop and walk down to the river. A sign admonished that all pets had to be on a leash. The penalty for failure to observe this law was summary execution by firing party, or some such sentence like that. So even in view of how completely asinine it is to have a 2-pound Chihuahua on a leash, we hitched the Wa up and started walking down to the river. Chi bounded into the lead, doing his level best to pull Lonnie along the path. The Wa sat down on his rump and absolutely refused to move another inch. That day he won the battle of how he would get around for the rest of his life. I took the offending leash off of him and sat him on Lonnie's left arm. He immediately brightened up and thoroughly enjoyed the ride. Thenceforth, he would perch on Lonnie's arm and sit with his forepaws on Lonnie's left index finger. Hey everybody, Story 2, Episode 5, End Part 3. We hitched the Wa up and started walking down to the river. Chi bounded into the lead, doing his level best to pull Lonnie along the path. The Wa sat down on his rump and absolutely refused to move another inch. That day, he won the battle of how he would get around for the rest of his life. Ciao.